everybody. My name is Yasmin Euphemia, aka Sugar.
And I'm Beverly, your UK fluffy chick, and we are the founders of Support a Sis-Star Network. And today we have with us a guest, Paula Stewart. Hi, Paula.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, Paula, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
So, hi, for everybody that doesn't know me, I am Paula. I'm a registered learning disability nurse and have been for 8 years. I'm also branching out into menopause, coaching and lifestyle, and I do health and wellness online. So that is me in a nutshell, and it all relates and it just nicely wraps and hones into each other.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm also an aesthetics nurse, trained aesthetics nurse.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's busy being it.
How many years have you been in the nursing?
So I qualified in 2014. So I've been 8 years as a nurse this year and 3 years as an aesthetics nurse. Yes.
Okay. We've heard that word before, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We have.
And as an aesthetic nurse, what is it that you do?
So I trained in injectables in the lips, anti-wrinkles and chemical peels. So I've done nasolabial lines. And then I started branching out into doing really nice facials. So I picked up a couple of facial packages like the dermaplane, the $1 million facial. So I don't inject as much now because I believe as I'm going more holistic, I want to be able to offer a holistic package without so much of the injectables. Yeah, okay. So I don't tend to inject as much now. Yeah.
All right. So you've come on. We didn't even ask you, like, all right, so we know that you're in the nursing and you've gone into aesthetics, yes. But what made you go into nursing in the first place? So
I've done many varied roles. I used to be a secretary, administration, I've done financial work. And then I supported people in the community for about 10 years, just short of 10 years. And that was just as a support worker. And then I became a manager, and it was floating support. So people with alcohol, drugs, mental health, low-level learning disabilities, young mums and homeless men. So it was quite a big mixture of people we supported to not lose their tenancies when the floating support schemes were out there. And I have this aversion to dogs. So I used to go into homes and they used to have these big dogs yelping. And I just thought one day, I'm either going to get bitten by a dog or stuck by a dirty needle, because that's what we were dealing with. And I just thought, something's got to change, something's got to give. I can't keep doing that. And then I looked at social working, I think maybe 5 or 6 years prior to that. And then there was all that media coverage about social workers. So I thought, I'm going to use my voice and help people that don't have a voice, because I tended to work with people who were profoundly disabled at that point in time. And that's why I went on to do the nursing and thought, I'm going to do something which is going to be helpful for me, but also helpful for others, helping them to have a voice.
Mm. Oh, wow. Gosh, that's very good. Isn't it, Beverly?
Yeah, of course. I'm just in my head, I'm listening to all the different angles of things that she does. So you got nursing, you got aesthetics nurse, you've got you said something else.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm branching out into doing the menopause support.
Right,
yeah.
This is it. That's the one I want. So which of because you got loads of avenues going on here, you're right. Which is the one that you really want to hone in and showcase with us and share with others?
So what's lighting me up right now is because I work on a female estate and have done for nearly 2 years now. And I feel that my experience is more in relation to these women and how I can help them. So it's more now menopause support with the coaching, lifestyle changing. And that's where I'm going now with the things that I'm doing, is more about supporting individuals who have hormones and women. Okay. Yes.
So what was your initial inspiration? Because you work with a lot of females, that was your inspiration behind why you went into that?
That was part of my inspiration, but myself, being a woman going through it and finding how difficult, just finding out how difficult, but I think the fatigue and the night sweats and the hot flushes, they used to be the ones that really got me, and going into work and listening to other women and just feeling sort of like really tired with it. And then being a full-time nurse at the time when the pandemic hit and working in a community home and how hard it was. And I just thought, Is this how I want the next 10, 15 years of my life to be?
Right.
I thought there's got to be a better way to live, look after yourself, look after others, and be able to help as many people just find a new way of living their own lives. And
Yeah.
I think when we get to this age, we think we're over the hill about starting our own businesses or just trying to achieve a little bit more in less time and having more time for yourself. And I just think that's the way to go, you know.
Definitely.
So if you can support somebody else by supporting yourself, I think that's tremendous.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that 100%.
So how do you do this? Is it an online, is it a psychological thing where you're talking to people and bringing them to the different, like making them aware of the different stages, or is it like a clinic sort of thing?
So right now,
you're doing it?
For the last sort of year, I've been doing a lot of free work, so that I've been just getting myself honed in with the skills. But I'm doing my coaching certificate now, is the sort of like the umbrella to it all. So I've just booked onto a course and I'm doing a 3-month coaching certificate starting this weekend. So once I've got all that, I've started writing a program, which is like a 6 weeks course, which is about what do women want to vision, how do they want to vision their own menopause, what do they value, the nutrition, their physical health, mindset, wrap it up at the 6 week, see where we're at, and then do they want any more coaching for lifestyle to go forward? Because it just depends. Not everybody will want the same package within that. And some people may want just little bits of it, but that is going to be a 6 week package, which they can either pick bits out of or have the full 6 weeks and then go beyond that. Okay. So it will be online, so one-to-one coaching to start with online. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not in a group setting.
I will be doing some group afterwards, but it's, I think, about honing in some skills so that when I start looking at scaling it to do groups, I know I'm sort of like being able to give, you know, and how many women want to be in that group as well. Because you still want to be able to give the quality within a group setting.
Yeah.
One-to-one. Yeah.
Because some people are still a bit about sharing within a vast, you know, other people around. So I guess
it is that, because we also do up here. I mean, menopause cafes are becoming the norm, and I sit on the steering group, but also attend menopause cafes, not to give advice, but just to listen to people and just chat. And we're still very much not getting out there. People are just not coming because they think, I know we do it in the daytime and we're trying to get some evening ones going, but I find that we are still very much behind closed doors, or, you know, very much on social media, or very much, I'm in a lot of groups and I hear women keep talking about the problems, but not wanting to sort of get
find
to the bottom
solutions.
What's the solution for this? Or you don't need to live in misery because we're going through the menopause. You know, it's about thriving through it as best we can.
Definitely.
I think a lot of people don't realize that there's alternative ways of dealing with the menopause. But on that note, would you say that every woman goes through menopause?
I would imagine they should be, yes. But you've got women that go through it differently, though, don't we? So we've got surgically induced menopause. We've got women that have premature ovarian insufficiency. So it's right at before they even sort of like just around puberty, and they don't make these hormones. So they're a different sort of kettle here. And then we've got ladies that have had the ovaries taken out, have had full hysterectomies, breast cancer, then it becomes surgically induced. So we've got sort of different spheres of where women do
But did you find, like, back in I'd say the 80s, because the reason why I picked on that decade was because that's the age of when, like, my parents would be going into their late 30s, early 40s, going into their menopausal stages. And I think it was like, I used to hear a lot of women having hysterectomies. It's like there's something, like they might have fibroid, and next thing you hear, hysterectomy. It was just like, that was the thing then, innit? It was just like, they don't try to treat, just take everything out.
Yeah, I think they've got better, because I know my mum didn't really talk about the menopause to us, bless her. And it's like, now I have a daughter as well, she's 33, and I've been talking to her about it and saying, look, this is what's going to happen, you know, and prepare yourself for it. And I keep telling the younger girls, don't wait till you get into your 40s and 50s and think, start preparing your body for it, you know, looking after yourself. And no, we don't talk about it. I mean, we did so I came on the Davina show as well, the last one. And it's like you say, they don't still recognise that you can treat it naturally without having to resort to HRT, although they're saying it gives longevity on the brain and things. I believe that you can treat it holistically with diet, nutrition, lifestyle, exercise, and also getting enough rest.
And that's one of the reasons why I asked you, do you think every woman gets it? Because my grandmother is, let's call her Chinese, okay? Mm-hmm. And I've always been told that group of people don't suffer with the menopause because of the diet that they've had throughout their lives.
So they won't probably notice. They probably won't notice all the symptoms because, like you say, they say Mediterranean diets, and yes, the people in China, when you do the studies and things, totally different because of the way of life, the processed foods and things like that is just not in their diet usually, is it? It's vegetables and they eat so well.
Yeah,
and, you know, totally different, isn't it? And stress, you know, it's stress.
It's a different stress.
Definitely.
But, you know, because I've got friends that when they went into menopause or felt they were going into menopause, they literally completely changed their diet, you know, and it just became like a shadow rather than the whole full blast of what women seem to be getting. And also, don't you find, well, because I'm working in a salon, I hear a lot of women talking, and sometimes I think what you're talking about is not the menopause. What you need to do is go under 2 sheets and not have such a 15 tog quilt. You know, what you need to do is, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When they talk, oh, I'm hot, and it's like that menopause heat is inside. It's not, the room is hot.
I'll tell you what, so I talk to women, and it's that thing where they're drinking alcohol, and I'll say to them, so you're drinking, what are you eating? They don't want to change the dietary bit of their lifestyle, and then they're still saying, oh, well, I'm still hot flushing and this and that. What are we eating? What are we drinking? Is it caffeine? What are we putting into our bodies that's going to set the thermometer going? And that's the thing. It's about stripping back everything to look at where we're at. And when we strip back all those things, sometimes dairy doesn't work for you. Sometimes the gluten doesn't work for you. Too much carbs may not work for you. You know, it's about getting your protein. It's about getting your healthy fats. It's about getting lean. If you eat meat, have lean cuts of meat and not lots of red meat. But it's that. I mean, I've become plant-based, vegan, and I tend to find that when they're looking at me and they're going, you know, you just seem to be sailing through. No, I've modified how I live and eat and work. And that's what it has to be.
Because it's your body talking to you. It's your body telling you that what's going on needs to change.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, changes are happening and we need to change with those changes. But
and that's
people
the thing.
want to carry on the way they are and moan about the change that's going on.
Or lack of thereof.
Yeah, so I went on to the sex, mind and the menopause on that show, and again it was, as I say, they were highlighting so much about HRT, the brain, and then about how bad it is, rather than my story, which is what a lot of people said was so true to fact, and the connection they said that I had with Davina was really nice, because we were doing some sparring exercise and we talked so much, but they had to cut so much back out of it that it was like, you know, it would have been nice to showcase more of the natural stuff like yoga, like, you know, you can eat phytoestrogen foods, you can eat, you know, like your flax seeds and your chia seeds in moderation. Again, your avocados, you know, change your milk. I mean, keep the dairy in, but change the milks you use, like go to oat milk, plant-based milks. I find them much nicer on the gut. And it's also, like you say, when you're looking after your hormones, you need to look after the gut, because when we're expelling our hormones, they need to be expelled out, not creeping back in. So if your gut's leaking and they creep back in, this is when things happen and cause things untoward things in the body, so our hormones need to pass out correctly.
So part of your program, or you're still devising a program, or you have the program?
So I don't really touch a lot on the hormones, but I can do. So it's more about lifestyle, nutrition, mindset. And if somebody's struggling with that, I would then say to them, look, maybe take these 7 things out of your diet, see where you're going, and try, if you can go plant-based for 30 days, just to see what's in there to stop the gut, because that's where we find when people say they've got anxiety and depression and the low mood in the menopause, there's some sort of imbalance in the gut, definitely. Okay. In the gut. Yeah.
Okay. See, I can relate to all of that. Like I was saying, I had bariatric surgery, which I feel like, because on the first, just as I had it, it's like, yeah, I'm on a high, woo, woo, woo. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, a big slump. And then I'm in the low mood, and you feel, I don't like to say I'm depressed, but I have the symptoms of feeling depressed, let's put it like that. And the anxiety, and I still trouble with anxiety when I'm doing anything new, but that's just standard for anyone. But I just feel like at that time that anxiety is heightened. Mm-hmm. Like, so it's good to know that maybe through diet and all those things, you can change the effects.
You definitely can change the effects of your gut flora. I mean, I've stripped back so much things, and people look at me and think, fruit, try and buy fruit with seeds in it. So like watermelon's really good for you. I use lots of watermelon, pears. I've cut back on the bananas. Some people say don't have oranges, but I have an orange every day because that helps vitamin C and your skin complexion as well. The vitamin C is good for your skin.
And it's funny, look at that though. In Jamaica, it was a standard. Now that you're saying that, it was standing in the morning time. You have the man on the roadside with the trolley selling oranges, and people rushing off to work would buy their little orange, and the man peeled the orange. And because I don't really like fruit, but I would eat the top of, like when my uncle or my grandma would buy the orange, I would eat just the top because the seed is not in it. Because I got this thing about pips and seeds. So I would eat the top part. But it's a standard that they just do that. A lot of the things that they do automatically in all these warmer climates, that's why maybe things don't affect them as much as like how it would affect us here. And we eat a lot of processed foods.
We do.
A lot.
Yeah. Processed food and genetically modified food.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And that's the reason why
fruit with seeds, you can hardly get grapes with seeds. You can hardly get even like tangerines, and well, they don't call them tangerines or clementines. It's what they call them, easy peel. As soon as you see an easy peel, you know that it's a genetically modified citrus fruit. It's not anything in particular, and it has no seeds.
Yeah, so you have to try and get seed. Everything needs to be seeded as best you can.
So that's where you're at in your journey.
Yes, definitely.
Where would you like to see yourself? What's your ultimate goal with your journey? What's your long goal?
My long-term goal is to provide a really slick supporting service for women or individuals, because you've got men that transgender and then end up with the hormones. So it's providing a really slick service, which is, user-friendly for people to come and be able to be supported to find their true path for themselves going through the menopause and more. Along with health and wellness, sticking that in there so that I can advise people. They may not take that bit of the advice, but it's about advising people on how to get the best out of their second half of life.
Right. Because a lot of it as well, I think, is lack of awareness. So I think awareness on where you're at mentally or physically, on a holistic level, where you're at, just raising awareness, I suppose. And then, okay, this is what's wrong. This is how I need to go about addressing it. And then to know that, someone like you who offers that kind of service to kind of, in a holistic manner, rather than stick some more tablets and injections down your body. Yeah. That's great. That's absolutely great. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm sold.
we really do need more people like yourself to educate people, to guide people, you know, to support people, because there's so much ignorance out there. And it's as
Definitely.
if we take it a pride to say, oh, it's so hot, it's like, you know, I'm going through that time in my life. It's like, do something about it. Stop telling me you're hot. Stop telling me what parts of you are over
or you have to suffer the consequences of their heat. Now you turn on the air condition so high,
oh,
and you have to freeze because they're hot.
Yeah, and all that is about looking at what they're eating, drinking, and they're getting enough rest, because rest is a big thing as well. You know, sleep, is the sleep being disrupted? But you see, I think a lot of GPs will give first line antidepressants when that isn't the cost. There are lots of clinics out there, because testosterone is the other big one, which is like fatigue, libido, but they say you can only have it for libido, whereas women talk about fatigue. But again, I believe that's a really good night. Trying to get your sleep not broken. So you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep unbroken, doing some exercise, getting out in the vitamin D when we've got it, getting out there, doing some, you know, bits of weightlifting, walking, you know, bike riding, swimming, dancing. It doesn't have to always be running. I mean, I used to do that, but it's about listening to your body, isn't it? How does my body feel today? What am I going to do? And if you can't work full time, ask for some work-life balance at work. You know, it's all down to the individual, isn't it? You know, it's about how we shape.
How does an individual find Paula Stewart? How do we get in touch with you? Do you have a business name or?
On Instagram, I am Thrive with Menopause. On Facebook, I am Paula M Stewart, and LinkedIn, I'm Paula M Stewart. So yeah, I'm on social media, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
excellent.
So did you have anything else you wanted to add, Miss Sugar?
No, not today. She's covered it very well.
And is there anything that you feel like we've left out, Paula, that you'd like to include in your, you know, raising awareness of yourself and your services?
No, I just think that women need to, you know, not take the bull by the horns, but I think they need to sit back and ask themselves, what am I doing to actually help myself? Because sometimes women can just help themselves. So what am I doing? And I think also when it comes to lifestyle, they need to find out what is really sort of ticking them off. I was going to say something else, but what is really, because sometimes when they're talking about the menopause, it, like you say, it isn't always the menopause that's ticking off. Is it family life? Is it looking after elderly parents? Are their children leaving home, empty nesters? You know, is it financials? Are they unhappy in work? There's lots of things when we get to midlife that can set off and make the menopause a lot more miserable than it needs to be. So I think they just need to ask themselves some questions. And if they need that support, to reach out, and don't wait until it gets to the point where they're saying, I really can't cope, to do that. You know, it's about seeking the support and help and guidance before they get to that point so that they can just get on with their lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it was really nice to speak to you both and to put sort of like faces behind the names of the group.
Yeah. No, that's that. And see, this platform is all about, because like maybe people seeing you on social media might see, but it's nice to hear the person behind the little few seconds of advertising. Just because like everyone's got their reason for what their journey, and it's nice to know the reason, because then you can sometimes you hear the passion behind why they're doing it. So when they get that passion, then you know they resonate with what you're trying to offer and are more drawn to it, because I think it's not just someone just doing it for the sake of, you're doing it because
I'm walking that same journey as all the women. I've got to 54 and I'm still walking the journey and love what I do. And I never thought I'd work with women. The same as, I never thought I'd work with women. And because I worked on a male estate, and then I went and I've worked mainly with men. And then when I've come to work with the women of the last, it's really given me that appreciation to know I'm actually at home, feel really good about where I work. At home with the women, and they sort of recognize me and relate to me. And sometimes you don't feel like you're at work with these women, and their lives are so tainted already. And you know, it's just about lifting them up also where I'm in these services. And so it's, I'm all about women at the moment, and individuals who, you know, relate to women with the hormones as well. Yes,
that's great. That's great. Like I said, I'm sold. I'll be chatting to you off the air, yeah. 'Cause I'm trying to get my holistic approach in order with my life. I've just joined the gym. It hasn't opened yet, but I've just joined the gym. I need to work on my food choices.
Yeah.
And all the rest of it. All I do is look up all kind of strategies for dealing with the emotions that I'm aware of that's affecting how I go about my everyday life. But it's just putting them into practice now. It's just, yeah.
Meditation has really been my biggest one as well, takeaway. Meditation, yoga, because that's your time, you know, where you can just, whether it be 15, 20 minutes where you just get into that space of doing a bit of yoga and the meditation. I don't even get road rage anymore. You know, a car could cut me up as long as it don't bump into me. I don't even worry about it anymore. I just think, you crack on, I'm doing me. Yeah.
Because it is definitely, they're obviously going further than you are. You know.
But that's the thing about it is they all zoom past you, and then at the next red light, that's where they're at. Like,
that's what I'm saying. So I just let them do them. I just say, music on, I'm doing me, and I'm not getting into this stressful morning situations and evening situations. I'm just going out. Yeah. No, I'm fine. I think, I mean, you can talk till you're blue in the face. It's about, you know, I'm very sort of to the point, very straight to the point. Move on. I love that.
Who are you pointing at?
I was pointing at the window.
No, but don't you find you can sort of digress and just do so many, and people who say that about me, you're very to the point, you're very blunt. Listen, we've all got things to do in life. Come on, let's just do them. You can be sympathetic and you can be empathetic, but you still can be very sort of like succinct with it, can't you? You know.
Exactly.
And ladies, thank you very much. I shall make sure I'm in the group and yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Nice chatting to you both. Have a lovely
nice chatting to you, and we'll be in touch. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Bye.